The only real question I have for this is how was this called a full update? 25.6. This has brought, let's see, the fixes. There's a few fixes, one of which they've kind of removed. And, well, that's probably in the title of the video. This was the Augment Tweaks. The Augment Tweaks for just some of the augments. Not all of, because this will be the first round of this. Where is it? You have the Hysteria augment for Valkyria, Bladestorm for Ash, Rumble as for Atlas, Hallowed Grounds for Oberon, Radial Javelin for Excalibur, Tidal Surge for Hydron. It goes on. I could go through this entire list, but Raw, I actually kind of like, allows Raw to be recast. Again, that needs to be just part of Raw, not an augment needed to be able to enable this. And then there's this. It doesn't say what they've changed for these, just that they are in with the rework, and, well, I guess it's just a mystery about what they've actually changed for these. A lot of people are going to be going on about how these are worse than they were before. This happened before. This is why I covered it when it was part of the dev workshop. Every single one of these added 3 meters of punch through for Ivara. Armor reduction is applied even if Ragdoll fails. Okay, but it still reduces the armor of enemies. So it's still increasing the armor reduction on enemies. Removed the buff, damage increase in damage. Yeah, every one of these is increased range, increased damage, increased enemy kill numbers, increased damage and speed, increase. There's no reductions to these that have made them worse. Every single one of these is just better. But what I want to know is freeze augment for frost. Why is that even here? All it did was when you shot it at frost, it applied the ice damage to people, your allies that you shot with it. It added ice damage to whatever they were using. Okay, holding it to cast it, or holding it while casting it, will apply it to all enemies within a 15-meter range rather than having to shoot the enemy themselves. That is actually ridiculously useful if you use that augment. I tend to use Chilling Globe more than, well, I never even leveled this one up. Which is why underneath Shock Trooper, which applies electricity, it says holding the cast button will send out a wave, giving the enemy, it just, I thought, because that is the way that all of these are, there's the augment name, that's what happens underneath it. Shock Trooper, same thing. No, this is actually for all of these, from Fireball down to Shock Augment, including Spores for Saren. All of them are the same thing. I've read through these very quickly, and I kind of wish that Navigator had some other perks to it, but the 3-meter punch through works pretty well. The Toxic Lash is pretty good. Raw's probably one of the best ones here. Right up until I remembered Mirages is in here. The Sleight of Hand increases the damage and status chance, and Eclipse increases the range and buff to other players. These are actually two augments that found their way into my Mirage, and they have been added to this. Shooting Gallery for Mesa is the same. They've aimed towards some of the better ones, remembering, of course, this is the first round of these. They are going to be going after some other ones in the future. It's just these were the first ones, and if I remember rightly from the dev workshop, these were the quote-unquote least used augments. No. The only other addition really has been to what they referred to as the loadout screen, which takes place inside of the arsenal, and yeah, I actually came in here before and it was okay, nothing in here is different, and that's just a mech kind of Nova build, which I found out is completely just pathetic. Not her speed build I usually run, and my Rubico Prime is in such a bad state it's not even funny. The changes to the loadout UI comes right here. This actually is a huge improvement and has been needed for a long time. Mainly because I'm hoping that I can change the name of this. Yes, thank you, because people keep getting a bit upset when I load in there. That was a joke when Volt Prime came out that I just never got round to changing, and it's gone. As expected, it actually shows the loadout. It's gone to such an extreme, I'm actually surprised it doesn't show you what arc wing and what K-drive as well as everything else, because it has the arc gun. And you can see it changes. For, I'm just going to use them two because I think the other one, oh no, Nova's kind of set up. Necromancy should be, but for some reason isn't. Because swap that for survival. Eidolon hunting, that I haven't used in a while because I used to use it for, what is it, Maru's, Ayatan sculpture hunting, stealth missions, basically everything else. I don't really use the rest of them, so they're all stupidly out of date. But it's nice to be able to come in and, oh well, I need to swap to a different one. You can have multiples of the same, like I have two Frosts, and it's like, okay, I want to take a Frost. I don't fancy the Zenith, I fancy the Bratton. Okay, we'll take that one. If you have many different loadouts for the same frames, you can see what is different to each one instead of just having to give them weird names. And that's probably why he was Vault sucks. That was done for a video, it didn't actually mean that he sucks. The other thing you can actually do now is change the image itself to whatever you want it to be. I should change that one and put on. I did say last week before, I was going to do this, but there you go. It has an icicle for Frost. That would be pretty much the only one I would actually change. The rest of them, I think, just personally, I think I'm going to leave them alone because it would just be a pain to go through and kind of change everything, because some of these you will have to actually buy. You don't get them all, or don't have them all, without actually buying some. Say, locked, 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 locked. Is it putting the ones that you own at the top? Yes, all the tick marks mean you own them, and then it should come to a complete stop. I don't have, oh no, I do. Keep going, keep going. Comes to a stop there, and there's no more tick marks. So the ones you own are at the top, the ones you don't are listed underneath, which makes it much easier to actually look through these, which is great. This whole change here, I've got a lot of setting up to do to get rid of these, and because we'll just get rid of that, you can actually just delete one. The actual navigation of this is so much easier. You don't have to mess around with things that you aren't using or going to be using, and if you have to remake them, well, come on. Mesa with a mitre. The easy way to sort that is to just go, okay, you can go away. Valkyrie, nah, probably seriously out of date, but yeah, we'll have to remake some more of these, but that makes it so much easier to fix these, see what is there, equip them. That's actually a good loadout change. I thought it was something to do with the arsenal. This, much better. Also, I kind of lied. I don't have Total Eclipse in with the rest of the Mirage. Not even on the Prime, which I've actually just taken off. That should be in there, but for some reason it's not. Because, well, it should be. I did testing on that a while ago, and that actually works pretty well. Why did I not add this to her? Do I have other builds that have that in there? No. Okay. Don't know why, but it's not in there. And that's about it for update 25.6. The changes to the augments are going to be fun to kind of play with and hilarious to watch people complain about, because anything that says increased range, increased damage, increased buffs, increased everything is not a bad thing. But you know what people are like when things change. Nobody really likes change. But the change to the loadout screen and the UI for it was actually good, and I'm probably going to go in there and have a play around and fix everything that's broken in there, because Now I'm going to start using it more than I was before. So we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.